Hello everyone, welcome to my channel and welcome to this collective reading, which is a transmission for both divine masculine and divine feminines. So there is a profound shift happening in the twin flame collective right now, one that is not merely about union in the physical but also about dismantling of the illusion that has long separated the lovers from their own divine remembrance. The veils are thinning at a rate humanity has never experienced before. The energy on the planet is accelerating. Light frequencies are reconfiguring human consciousness to remember what has always been true. Basically, you are not a victim of your life, you are the creator of it. The divine masculine and divine feminine are both being stripped bare of the illusions. Illusions of love, power, worthiness, and even identity. What once defined them, external validation, relationships, success, or pain, is losing all meaning. The truth is, they were never meant to be defined by the 3D world, for they were born to re-anchor 5D consciousness into human form. Divine masculine is learning, often through pain, that there is far more to love than what he has been settling for. He is being shown that love is not control, possession, or validation. It is freedom, awareness, and truth. His entire life, he has been conditioned to equate love with what he can do, what he can provide, and how much he can earn. He was told to suppress emotion, to hide pain, and to act from logic alone. But now, under the illumination of his divine feminine's energy, he is awakening to the power of being instead of doing. The power of being instead of doing. Her unconditional love is reprogramming his nervous system, showing him what safety feels like, something he may never have known before. Even when he was unavailable, inconsistent, or emotionally absent, she kept holding light, not for him to depend on her, but to remember his own. She didn't abandon her love even when she had to walk away physically. That's the paradox he's learning to grasp. Unconditional love does not chase, it liberates. Not for him to depend on her, but to remember his own. Now, let me tell you guys something here as a part of this collective reading, that every woman, every feminine should prioritize herself. Because a man cannot be made into divine masculine without the light and without the energy of the feminine, which is Shakti. He can be calm, composed. You can see that in Shiva also. But Shiva also gets energy from Shakti. She didn't abandon her love even when she had to walk away physically. But this love, she's not holding this love for the masculine, she's holding the love within herself. Because the masculine is actually inside of the feminine. The paradox is that he's learning to grasp unconditional love does not chase, it liberates. Because unconditional love comes from within. The first person who the divine feminine has to give this unconditional love is to herself. And what is the masculine going to give to her? Especially when he is going out, hanging out with his friends, drinking, smoking, doing all kinds of things. Whether she is married or she is unmarried, in both cases, if there's a man in her life, the man is going to always live his life. And you can notice it in every man, most men. You see, men always have a gang, they always have friends, they're always going out. Every day a man will go out and meet other people, talk to other people. A woman may not be that interested in doing so. She doesn't even have that much time and energy. She would rather want to fix her house, fix herself, get a dress or something. But divine feminine should form community. She should be a part of some kind of community or some kind of act of service, some kind of mission she needs to have, so that even when the masculine is not around or he's not giving her the attention, she is busy doing something. She's not busy or she's not absorbed in self-sabotaging, self-depreciating thoughts. She should always do something which increases her own worth. And she should clearly do something that she loves without seeking the masculine's approval or without thinking about whatever he's going to do to accept her. So she did not abandon her love for herself, even if she has to walk away physically. And now the masculine knows, he has probably learnt it the hard way. He needs to face himself. He needs to face his shadows, fears, his suppressed emotions with compassion rather than shame. Let's say the masculine has addiction patterns. And instead of getting entangled with the masculine, if the feminine just focuses on herself, her positivity and whatever she wants to do, whatever she wants to be, when she focuses on herself, if she has children, then children, if not, when she's focusing on that and she's not giving energy to whatever is making him be in the addiction pattern, she can be really powerful. She can actually, without doing much, she can heal him, because he needs to match up with her pace. He needs to think that, okay, she is happy without me. As per this update, the divine masculine is questioning every foundation upon which he built his understanding of love. The karmic relationships he once entered were mirrors showing him where he settled for safety over authenticity, comfort over truth, and appearance over depth. The divine feminine's presence in his life is revealing the difference between attachment and union. He sees that what he called love was often a transaction born out of fear. And what she offers to him now through vibration and not words is transcendence through unconditionality. She is not the kind of person who's going to get scared by his tantrums. You have to understand. This is a big difference between a woman who knows how to handle her man and a woman who is still learning. The one who's still learning is going to get suppressed by his behavior, or she's going to chase him. She's not going to face him. So the right woman, divine feminine, she does not get scared by him. She challenges him, in fact. If he tells her, don't dare to do this, she will ask him, who the hell are you to even say this to me? How dare you speak to me like this? Because most men, they try to scare women. This is how they function. And they get some kind of sadistic joy and pleasure when they see that, okay, she's scared. This is the reason why Kali had to appear. And she wasn't scared of Shiva. She had to be stopped because she was literally uncontrollable. And she was like, I'm not going to be scared of anybody. If I'm not scared of the demons, I'm not going to be scared of the divines. I'm not going to be scared of you. Nobody can stop me or nobody can scare me. Don't try to scare me. So when a divine masculine who is in distorted energy, he tries to scare her, put fears in her way. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to live this way, I'm going to live that way. She should not bother. In fact, how she gets her strength is from God. Because without God's will, nothing can happen. If a masculine is acting in a certain way, that too is a part of God's plan and will. She needs to accept it with full faith, because even though it's difficult, I understand, but the feminine is like, let me accept God's will. Let me see what happens. She lets it go. Then she becomes very powerful. This is unconditional love. For the divine feminine, the lessons are deeply internal. Her wounds of abandonment, rejection, neglect and betrayal, many of which stem from childhood, have been resurfacing. So whosoever resonates, please do put down a comment and mention that if you're going through this. So your childhood wounds have been resurfacing through the mirror of your divine masculine. Every trigger, every silence, every delay, every emotional absence from his has been the universe's way of showing her what still hurts within. But this time she understands the divine feminine collective is entering a level of maturity that transforms victimhood into mastery. She is no longer seeing the divine masculine as her source of pain, but as a sacred mirror reflecting what needs healing all along. Because that's how she's healed so far as well, right? The one who enter the advanced stages is only because they keep using all the fodder. They keep using it. They never stop. So here I can see the feminine is beginning to recognize that the image in the mirror is not the problem. It's what projects that image that requires alignment. This is a feminine who has walked through fire. Many have faced traumas, even abuse, manipulation, and deep psychic violations from people who carried the vibration of darkness. These experiences were not punishments. At least that's what she's thinking right now. These people were catalysts. They forced her to remember the power she holds in her womb, the portal of creation itself. For lifetimes, she was conditioned to believe that she was powerless, a victim of circumstances, and a receiver of others' actions. But she now knows that she is the creative consciousness of Source in human form, the living embodiment of Divine Mother energy. Every toxic relationship, every illness that appeared out of nowhere, every repeated cycle, all of them were mirrors. Mirrors showing her where she had forgotten her divine origin. Now she is not blaming anyone, no longer blaming anyone. She does not curse the false twin, the narcissist, or the abuser, the psychopath. She understands that back then she wasn't spiritually strong enough to see the lesson through her higher eyes. And maybe that was a plan. Maybe as a child she knew everything, she was calm and composed. But as that window closes, when we enter puberty, when we enter feminine especially, then things change. But now she can see how each dark encounter was an invitation to choose light consciously again and again. That's the trick, that's the cheat code. The divine feminine's greatest realization is that she has been programmed to forget who she truly is. The 3D matrix has trained humanity to believe in separation. This is for both divine masculine and divine feminine, but the divine feminine energy within us, even the one that's within every masculine has a divine feminine within him. So all of this, imagine, it's a collective thing. The 3D matrix has trained humanity to believe in separation, to live in reaction rather than creation, to measure worth through comparison rather than remembrance. But this programming is dissolving. She no longer aligns with the vibration of being a victim. She no longer feels small when things fall apart, because she has begun to see from her 5D consciousness the awareness that she was born with access. This is the awareness she was born with, access to higher dimensions. The illnesses, the betrayals, the emotional collapses were not punishments, they were rather timelines. They were initiations, ways for her to remember that she creates reality from within. And that healing comes from remembering her divine power, not seeking it externally. This is another cheat code. You're not supposed to fix it externally. The moment you see a trigger, the moment you're sad, the moment you're upset, the moment someone hurts you, you gotta go within. You figure out what works the best for you. In this timeline, humanity is beginning to experience reality as it truly is. A mirror of consciousness. We are in the age of ascension. The ascending Dwapar Yuga. The age of energy has started. We are literally at the beginning of age of energy, and the dark energy is just gone. The dark age. But darkness doesn't leave that easily. It stays till proper golden age arrives. Every human interaction throughout the day is not an encounter with a separate being. That's how we feel. But it is actually another aspect of yourself which is projected outward. This is the truth. Consciousness creates experiences through projection and reflection. The person you see in the mirror, the one that you see yourself, your own face, even that person is not living a single isolated just one life. You are simultaneously existing in multiple dimensions, perceiving only a microscopic fragment of that vastness. So that's like really interesting. Now this is what the twin flame connection teaches most powerfully, that your counterpart is you in another form. And yeah, in some cases you may not like this statement. How can that person be me? Their actions, whether painful or loving, are reflections of your own inner frequency. When you shift, they shift. When you heal, they release. When you choose peace, the mirroring pain resolves or dissolves. So, the divine feminine no longer reacts with pain to his silence. She recognizes it as a call to silence within. And also, I'll tell you this. Let's say the masculine hurts you, makes the same kind of statements or something similar, tries to give you the same kind of fear. You have to keep practicing to ignore it, to just let it be, not entangle within, because he's giving you some emotional fodder. He wants you to be inside it and then forget about yourself and present moment. You have to still remind yourself. Like, let's say he talks about some plan he has, and you're not a part of that plan, okay? He's talking like he's doing it and he's so happy about it. He doesn't think about you. He doesn't want to share why he's doing it, for you or for himself or whatever. And you, let's say, are thinking that, okay, how come he's not making me a part of this? How come I'm not his priority? Now that feeling itself, that's what you need to put on your journal, or that's the feeling that you need to go into detail. Why are you not his priority? Why? Because you're not your own priority. When he's making these plans, when he's putting you into fear and worry, you have to choose yourself and not be in fear and worry. He's going to do that to you. He or anybody else can do that to you. They want you to be worried. They want you to be sad. They want you to be in low frequency state of being. But you have to choose yourself. If you are your own priority, you will say, no, I will not do this. And this is not the no that we say, okay, don't be negative, no. This is the no which is more like, I don't choose this because yes, I choose myself and my peace over all this garbage. Behavior, whatever it is, as a call to silence within. She's not triggering, not allowing it to trigger her. His inconsistency or his repeated behavior is literally a reminder to move on, to forgive, and to relax her own self. She has to relax her own self. She has to tell herself, okay, relax. Without God's will, nothing can happen, and everything is happening in my favor. It's happening for my good. And thank you, God, for even this experience. So she has to see where she has been inconsistent with her own boundaries of self-love. So boundaries are not like, okay, I'm not going to do this, you're not going to do this, you're not come to my house, you're not going to talk to me, okay, now you've said this mean shit to me, I don't want to see your face. Because the thing about boundaries is that when you're really aligned with yourself, when you're a part of nature, then trust me, the boundaries are automatically formed. You don't have to do anything to create a boundary. People just sense it. People just know it. It's an energetic thing. She no longer begs for closure because she's closed the wound herself. She's not going to ask the distorted masculine, why is he going to tell you all of that? Why is he going to answer? Why would he care? Why? He's already giving you the pain. He already knows. Do you think the person who is giving you pain does not know that they're giving you pain? You know it. So if you're going to tell him, give me the truth, I want to know the truth, he's not going to respond to you. He's going to either be silent or make up something or just leave. or just act like it doesn't even exist, this question or this situation. But if you work on yourself and you don't look for closure, maybe it all changes. Maybe. Because my idea is not to give you any false hopes. My idea is to let you know that as per the update and as per whatever I can pick on, the divine feminine works on herself. She is not doing it because she wants to know what's the result immediately. She is doing it because she's choosing her peace over all the anxiety that's coming from elsewhere. So at this exact moment in human history, there's a collective expansion of consciousness happening. The majority of humanity has been in a state of functional amnesia, asleep to its own divinity, and we see it like all around us in different people, okay? But now the energetic grids of earth are changing frequency, they're aligning humanity back to its original template of unity consciousness. This is why so many social structures are collapsing. Institutions that once felt unshakable, media, politics, relationships, economies are falling apart, not because of the chaos, but because of their vibration that no longer matches the new frequency Earth is holding. Because all these departments that I spoke about, media or politics or even relationships, the economies, all of them, they're not in the divine form. They're not in the true form. They are in distorted version. So it cannot be aligned with a pure version of Earth. So while you're witnessing that this is not the end, you're also going to witness that this is the beginning. It is the divine dismantling that makes space for new realities rooted in truth. The divine feminine feels this deeply in her body. She's literally transmuting density through her physical vessel. Like, strange physical symptoms, fatigue, body vibrations, heat waves, intense dreams, being in different dimensions in dreams, heart palpitations. All of these are recalibrations. Her body is learning to process frequencies that have been available, but which the human nervous system wasn't ready to hold until now. Until now. She dreams of the master, she hears guidance, she can have visions, she can listen to clairvoyant messages, she feels timelines collapsing and she can swap into timelines. If this timeline is not working for her, she can move to another one. This is ascension. It's not an escape from earth or from your reality, but it is a conscious choice of not being in a frequency that does not serve you at all. So this is also the merging of higher consciousness into physical reality. What's the divine masculine's role in awakening? Well, this time it's a bit different. It's quieter, it's less visible, but equally intense. He is learning through dismantling. The divine masculine is losing what once defined him: the job, the title, the relationship, the identity that kept him anchored to false security or just his behavior pattern, just his patterns, just his reactions. They're all being removed so he can rediscover his own spiritual foundation. For years he looked outside himself for meaning. He sought to be needed, to be admired, to be successful. But the emptiness that followed every accomplishment became unbearable. Now, through his divine feminine's reflection, he sees that love is not something to earn. It is something to remember. Her patience, her endurance, her unconditional vibration is rewiring his belief system. Even when she walked away, her energy continued to teach him what integrity feels like. The more he resists, the more life confronts him with mirrors until he surrenders. And he will, because love is not something you can avoid when it's divinely orchestrated. Her frequency will pull him towards his higher path, but this time not for union based on need, but for creation based on purpose. Divine feminine is not scared of a distorted masculine as well. Let me tell you, in some cases he may not be fully divine. It's not easy to become divine masculine that fast. Some people are expecting divine masculine energy to flow through immediately. Not at all. I mean, it takes a while for the feminine also to be in hermit mode, to relax, to release, and then eventually, depending on what situation God has put her in, either the old person is going to return in a new form or a new person altogether would appear. So, this divine feminine knows now that she was never broken. She was programmed to believe that she is power, Shakti. Every heartbreak was a portal, every rejection is a redirection. That's a good one, isn't it? A redirection. Every rejection is a redirection, every separation is a sacred pause designed to bring her home to herself. She is no longer romanticizing suffering, she recognizes her power. She is hell bent not on revenge, not even on reunion, but on evolution. Her only goal now is to master herself, to become the purest, cleanest, clearest channel of divine love possible. She does not chase masculine, she rather magnetizes him by her embodiment. She does not cry over separation, she honors divine timing. She does not fear being alone, she understands solitude is sacred union with Source. She realizes that union happens within, before it mirrors externally. So the masculine will meet her there when he is ready, when he too has healed enough to recognize her light without fear. Until then, she continues her path in peace, in faith, and in power.